for myself, as far as my connection with him, where it started really was I had his cooking before. I ate at the restaurant, but where we really connected was gym life.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to be a firefighter, generally you have to be in pretty good shape for it. And no matter what Jeff would have done, I think in life, if he had been, let's say, he had gone and just been a chef, not just a chef, but let's say he wasn't a firefighter and a chef, and he just devoted himself to the kitchen full time, he would have still committed his life to the gym life,
Yeah.
100%,
Yep.
regardless of what he did for a living. So from a gym perspective, did you ever train with Jeff? You did.
Right.
Tell us some Jeff gym stories, please. I would love to hear because I was about to train with him that week, which he had off, but turns out his vacation was extended by an indefinite period. So I never got the opportunity to train with him. So tell us what Jeff in the gym was like.
It was like I've had a bunch of training partners, throughout because the gym, like we always say, you want to just do something just to kind of better yourself.
Right.
But he kind of pushed you to a limit in the sense of you knew you can get there,
Mm-hmm.
but with him it felt easier. Now, not in the sense of spotting or anything like that, but it was, he just gave you that motivation. I remember with him, it must have been, well, of course, pre-pandemic now, of course, so at least 5-7 years now. We ended up, I think it was a Snap Fitness actually, and it was probably not the first time, but one of the first times where it was 225, so it's two plates on each side. Where he goes, "Hey, let's do chest." And I'm like, "Sure,"
Okay.
And we end up benching, and I end up benching, just getting down there. And I don't know if it was his motivation, if it was his, what it was. Maybe just the thoughts, but it literally felt like I'm just like, "Yep,
Just
done,
going.
no problem." Yep, just
Really?
like clean, simple. And he's like, "See that, buddy?" And like, see, after you got done, right? And I remember this actually this part pretty vividly, where you get done, and some guys get up there like completely out of it, but it's like with the motivation and him talking, it's like, yes, I'm so, like, patting you on the back. It's just like, all right, let's go again. Like, you don't need rest. Like, you felt like you did it, but it's just like with his excitement, with his his being there, you know what I mean, and just like his talking to you, like,
He knew how to breathe life into you.
exactly.
And it's funny because, I'm not going to sit here and paint him a picture that he was Mary Poppins and always just spreading love and so positive. The man was a shit talker too, He knew how to razz you, but it was funny because he had this talent where he could razz you in a motivating way. He never did in a hurtful way.
No.
He never made fun of you to bring you down or anything
Exactly.
like that. So, and he loved that part of it. So, if anything, he was even more, I felt, into that part of it. But he did in a way that brought you up, that kind of said, yeah, I'm going to do it.
Correct.
And I don't know how he did that because most people I know are either going to trash talk you in the gym the whole time or they're just going to be positive all the time. He was
Exactly.
both. Yeah.
There's always the one story. It always, and it was every couple of weeks, even if we didn't talk much, but here and there, but even like, because with life getting busy, COVID and whatnot, he would call me, I would call him, and like, he wouldn't answer, or like I wouldn't answer, whatever. And the message, because he was a big Seinfeld fan to me. I love Seinfeld, and the message, and we always used to laugh at it. It was when George in the series, he gave a comeback to the to this guy where he goes, the jerk store called, and they're running out of you, and so we would like, leave each other messages just randomly. Hey, he'd leave me a message. Yeah, hi Terry. Yeah, this is the jerk store calling, and we're just calling saying we're running out of you. And I would just hear, and I remember those because I would do the same thing to him. Just like, I'm like, shit, let me just call him. I'm like, and I go, hey, Jeff, that's the jerk store calling. Yeah, and it's just those little moments, like, it was just the thoughts and the laughter between us where it was just like, it's an inside joke to us. Like, some people might look at us like, you're calling him a jerk, like, but like to us, it was just like, that was the running joke with like me and him.
Yeah.
But, thinking, and well, of course too, I ended up switching carriers, ended up switching phones, whatever. But to this day, I wish I had those messages saved.
Even I keep my messages clean. Like I keep deleting. I have the last messages when we had that conversation that day. But even the messaging when we first arranged a show, I don't have those anymore. And I'm to myself, I wish I kept those. But again, the memories are up here, so we're always gonna have them that way. Now, to paint a picture for people to understand, when Jeff got married, Jeff didn't just marry into a family. He married into a family. He married. When we call you Terry the Greek, there's a reason why. If you went and watched the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding, there's Windex everywhere, and it's the real McCoy. Like, I've intimately got to know your family and each member pretty much over time, and Jeff married into the best family, honestly. Your family is incredible.
Yeah, there's no small parties with us. There's no little get-togethers. It's the typical stereotypical. Hey, come over for lunch this afternoon. It's a random Sunday in the middle of August, and there's 30 people there.
Someone's always over at somebody's.
Correct.
Always.
The table's full, like a mile long, of meats, veggies, everything.
So my point is, with that size of family, not everybody can handle that, and so he becomes the non-Greek guy marrying into the Greek family.
Manji cake, that's what we call them.
We call them Wonder Bread, but it is what it is. Like, and it's all in love. Obviously, we're not trying to hate on anybody,
No.
but at the end of the day, in any culture, when there are cultures, when you marry into a culture, you're either part of the culture or you're not. And sometimes what happens is you're either divorced from that culture, and they're saying, you're never going to be one of us because you were not born this way, you're not raised this way, you don't have the culture, you don't have the understanding. Jeff was accepted like family from day one, and you'd have no clue that he was never part of the culture. He embedded himself, and so that's where it's so beautiful to see the relationship you two had, because the family is so big, and so many people could have connected on different levels, but you two connected. How soon after you met him did you know that you guys were going to be tight? Like, because you guys were like brothers, really.
Yeah, we from the and I you know what too, and I was cleaning my basement last weekend, and I remember seeing it. He actually gave me a book. This must have been, because they were married 11 years. This must have been like 12, 13 years ago. A book of Jay Cutler from bodybuilding, and it's actually signed inside.
No kidding.
It was his.
I'm not surprised.
Right, and he goes, "Buddy, this is," and I remember seeing it on, I think it was last Sunday, and I remember seeing the book because I just kind of put it away, and I looked at it, and I'm like, and you take it and you look at it, and it just kind of brings back the memories, right? Because it was like, he would call me just randomly. Hey, so what did you train? Like, of course, pre-COVID now. Yeah. But hey, so what did you train today? Did you get to the gym? Huh? Are you gonna go to the gym? Huh? But he would motivate you in the way of like. You're thinking, oh man, I'm tired today. I'm having a bad day. But it's like, yeah, let's go. Get up. Come on. It's like.
How often were you guys talking this way?
Over 10 years.
And like constantly?
Yeah.
How many times did you work out with the man?
The unfortunate truth,
yeah,
it's a handful of times. Because, with him, life, he had the children, life, work, all that stuff. Yeah. We were kind of a distance too. But I'd say a handful of times.
And it felt a lot more, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you now, we're sharing right now. This is like therapy for you and I, and I can tell you that part of arranging this episode and coming together with Jeff like this was, in my mind, 2022. One of my goals for the year was to build the friendship even stronger. We kept saying we're gonna do stuff. We got together a handful of times, and this was gonna be a good year for us to connect that way, and we're gonna make that effort, and this was gonna be it. And I if I can go back, I would have had him on maybe episode 1 or 2 just to be able to do that. But on the other hand, I tell myself I can't go and change time. You did it for a reason. But I take solace in the fact that he left the earth knowing that he had the friend in me, that he was going to be doing this, and he had something to look forward to. And I look for that. But I hear you, and I never got to work out with the man. And I was gonna have that. That was like at my fingertips. We had it all prearranged. We were gonna talk, but we were actually doing it. Like, it made so much sense to go and have a workout and shoot the shit and be able to have our game plan for when we actually are gonna sit and do the conversation. And you got to do that.
I remember pre-pandemic though, every not couple of weeks, but every little bit, like when we talked, he would be like, oh, so yeah, last weekend I went with Jonathan. Yeah, we went for sushi, and oh man, and I remember the biggest thing he used to tell me, always sushi with Jonathan and this man's shoe collection. I remember all he kept talking about was, man, this guy's damn shoe collection. Oh my god! And I remember he actually, now I'll be honest, I don't know if he got them, but I know that he was in the thoughts when he was talking to me that he wanted to buy Tommy a couple of Jordans too.
I believe it.
And honestly, just because I remember this guy, like, he has a whole room, just his closet of these damn Jordans, and I'm like, yep.
You're saying this, and you're flooding me with memories right now, because one of the points I was going to raise was the fact of how jacked the man was. But the ironic part of it is that when he used to message me, he made it seem like he was like flub, and I was the chiseled, jacked one. And he would comment on my post. He'd say, "What have you been doing? How are you so jacked?" And he really made me feel that he was a huge fan. Like, he really supported my work as far as what I was doing from a law perspective, from a bodybuilding perspective. When I won in my show and I got 2 medals, he was all over that. He was like my biggest fan, and he made me feel great. He always told people, like, he spoke highly of me. And I thought to myself, here's this great man, and he's putting me at that level, but look at him, He was the jacked one. He was the built one, like, he's the one who created, when I met him, he's the one who inspired me, among others, to do what I was doing. And he's saying these words about me, but I felt the same way, except in my mind, I'm like, he's being nice, he's saying it and he's motivating me, but he's being so humble because he's the one that's jacked. He's the one that's built. Why is he doing that? I never understood it. I'm really starting to understand now.
Yeah, that's how he always was. Like we said at the beginning of this, right? He was so selfless that he would always, even if he sensed that you didn't feel good or something wasn't right, he just talking to him even 5 minutes, you just like forgot everything. Like, man, why was I just pissed? Like, the thought just completely just evaporated from your mind.
Yeah.
Just with his motivation, his speaking, his I don't want to say toughness, but his thoughts on you, right? Just saying, hey, you can do it. You got this, you got that. Come on, like that. You're like, why was I just mad? Like, you completely just. It was like just a flashpoint. No, I'm good. Let's go.
Maybe I didn't get to work out with him physically, but I can say this much. He did see me through a hard point in my life, where I would say, I'm not gonna say I was rock bottom, but I certainly mentally was not in a good place. Mm-hmm. And I remember going out for lunch with him. And this was the last time we had a meal together. And we're at this lunch. And he just looked at me like point blank. And he's like, why is that even bothering you? Who cares? Just move on. It's fine. You're amazing. Who cares about that? Why are you worrying about other people? Why are you worrying about what other people do? Just let it go. And it was so matter of the fact. Like, it was the most obvious thing in the world. And he saw how much pain I was in, I know I could see he's feeling it. And he's not belittling it. But he was showing, how he deals with things.
Correct.
And he did a lot of good by me that day. So, yeah, it would have been great to pump iron with the guy. But you know what? He saw me through a point there. And he didn't have to, and he didn't have to care the way he did. It wasn't something that affected him. And it was something I wasn't even expected to talk to him that day. Mm-hmm. We were just honestly going to go hang out as buddies and just shoot the shit and just be there like we always do. And Jeff was a guy that, look, if you hang around with him, you're going to be joking around. It's probably going to be a lot of dirty jokes. He had a filthy mind. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that, but in a good way. But the man was human. Yeah. And he loved life and he lived life and he talked about life. And that was part of the fun with him, is you could be yourself around him, and he's yourself. He was himself around you, and you can talk about real stuff, and you don't have to sugarcoat it. You don't have to be politically correct that day. You could just let it go because it's not in anger. You're not hating on anybody. No, but everybody's an open target at this point, but just in a fun way. Yeah. But he was definitely, at the end of the day, he was really a therapist that day, and he was a friend, and he cared, and he checked in on me, And he didn't have to do that.
Yeah, that's what he always did. Always did. If he knew you weren't well, let's say it was a Monday, you talk to him, whatever. Tuesday, Wednesday, he's like, hey, you okay? Even a text, even a phone call, something, just saying, you okay? Hey, look, look on Instagram. Look what I just sent you. Just to kind of get you out of your rut.
Because it stayed with him. Yeah. And people didn't understand. The man was firefighting. He was a chef. He was a father, a husband. He had a lot on the go, but he still thought of you.
Yep.
So before we get into the man as the chef, which is really at the end of the day, I think really turns out to be his legacy as far as his passion, as far as what his creativity goes. What was his secret for getting jacked? I would have pinned him right now and I said, Jeff, man, you are jacked. I know you're doing it all natural. What was his secret? Did you figure it out? How did the man stay the way he did? Was it good genetics? Was he pumping every day at the gym? Like, what was the story?
Genetics, so.
Mm-hmm.
Just consistency. Because I used to ask him, I go, how are you like just consistency?
Because his arms, like I told him, it's like, we have gun control in this country. Because like in that shirt, I saw like the biceps just want to rip out of the shirt like the Hulk. They're like barely contained in there, right?
And I remember he used to put the shirt on and just be like, and then just show them on. I'm like,
yeah. See, he wore it like a true schmedium. There you go. That's when you ever look up the term schmedium, it's not a small, it's not a medium. He wore it like that, so he can get it off, but it's a nice tightness. And yeah, he loved showing off his arms. But he did it, but the same way as me. Like, I don't do it like in a total vain way because
exactly.
I'm just proud of what I accomplished. He was proud of what he was doing it to inspire others.
Exactly, and he would just stay there and be like, just so. Not in a way like you said, not to like belittle you. Be like, hey, look at my arms, look at your arms. No, but in a way of just like,
I'm a real guy. If I can do it, you can do it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
just to kind of inspire you, basically. To say. Exactly.
Thank you for enjoying today's episode of the Chosen Life podcast. Go ahead and hit the subscription button below and the notification bell to catch all of our great shows. And remember to contact the Chosen Lawyers when you are ready for your next real estate and commercial transaction. Go to kormans.ca.